Connor Zilich leads Junior Motorsports to a historic win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Plus, was Austin Hill's move on Eric Almirola intentional, and should he be suspended for it? Welcome back to the Breaking Bob channel. Hope y'all are doing well on this Saturday night post-Xfinity edition at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where NASCAR's second series is running the oval for the second year in a row, and overall, second half of that race, not bad by any stretch. We've got a lot to talk about, especially those last 20 laps where, instead of last week at Dover, shortened by rain, rain did mess with this race a little bit, but got the finish in there. That's all that matters. But, of course, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing as far as NASCAR content on a daily basis here at the Breaking Bob channel. But, yes, for the third week in a row in the Xfinity world, Connor Zilich takes the checkered flag as the now 19-year-old phenom just continues to shatter the ceiling and expectations that we set for him. What can you say about him that's not already been said? It seems like we just grovel every chance we get because he lives up to the hype every single time. This is now the third week in a row he's won, and at very different tracks: Sonoma, then Dover, and now Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Nothing in common with any of those tracks there. What a fantastic performance for Zilich to win on those final couple of restarts there. It's Zilich's fifth win of the season, sixth for his career at Junior Motorsports, and now he's just in incredible form. I believe this is his eighth or ninth race in a row where he finished inside the top five, and he is right on the heels for Justin Allgaier on that regular season championship, even missing a race after Talladega. Of course, he missed the Texas race where Kyle Larson jumped into that Junior Motorsports entry and won at that race. The form that he's been in is insane, but the form that Junior Motorsports has been in is just red hot as well. I believe this is their 12th win of the season on the Xfinity year, and now win number 100 for Junior Motorsports, a historic milestone. I believe they're the fourth team in the Xfinity series to reach 100 wins. They joined Joe Gibbs Racing, Richard Childress Racing, and RFK or Roush Racing, as I believe it's four teams now at that milestone moment. So Dale Jr., Kelly, Earnhardt, Miller, what an absolutely incredible accomplishment. And the cars that they brought, especially this year, again, I believe it's 12 wins on the season now. Incredible. And Connor Zilich, just a small piece of that history, but he's got 6 wins in less than a year of full-time NASCAR Xfinity Series racing under Junior Motorsports. So it really is impressive, to say the least. It may not mean quite as much to Norman down here, but you could see the excitement on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s face when he is celebrating with the 88 team there. The relief, the excitement, waving the flag on pit road, celebrating with Connor Zilich. You could just tell how much it means to him. Of course, he running this with his sister, Kelly Earnhardt Miller. It's incredible what they've done in just a little over a decade at Junior Motorsports, and the driver pipeline they've built, and countless NASCAR Cup Series winners, champions at the Xfinity level. They bring fast cars to the track almost every single week, no matter what sort of style race it is. And then you look at Connor Zilich, once again, like I said, everyone said, oh, well, he hasn't won on the oval. And then they said on the broadcast as they wrapped it up today, you know, he did win at Sonoma, and then he wins at Dover, but Dover's a rain-shortened race. He won at Pocono, but Pocono is a triangle. It's not really over. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, there's no excuses. You win at that track, you can flat-out race at any oval. But once again, congratulations to Connor Zilich, win number 5 on the season, win number 6 for the 88 team, and Junior Motorsports, I believe, now win number 12 on the year. Incredible consistency, and to win 100 races just goes to show they've been building toward this over the years with so many different drivers, so many different people along in that whole system there. It's an incredible testament to the longevity and the speed they brought year over year. But boy, it was stressful how they got there for Connor Zilich, because last week at Dover, the rain ended the race early, and it was a pretty straightforward race where track position matters, but there wasn't a lot of passing. Today at Indianapolis, track position is so key as well. But you could get runs at the end. It's running the super speedway package for the Xfinity Series. I don't love it, but the racing ended up being pretty good, especially toward the second half of the race there. I'll talk about that later. But for Connor Zilich, how he won this race, held off Taylor Gray, actually got around Taylor Gray on the final restart, and actually took the lead because he avoided a crash with 2 of the best cars in today's race, with Kyle Larson and Justin Allgaier. Now, I'll talk about that incident in a minute. But the rain today, I mentioned how it ended Dover. Multiple red flags or cautions were thrown for sprinkles, but we never lost the track at Indy. That was massive. But one of the moments that was really, really notable was the final restart, because There was a red flag for rain after a caution with Austin Hill and Eric Almirola that caused a rain flag. I thought, oh, this might be it now. Could this be the race? No, it wasn't. But let's talk about the incident that led to that rain delay for a second now, because we've got Eric Almirola and Austin Hill running inside the top 10. Two decent cars. Austin Hill had nose damage. He was holding up the 19 just a little bit there. And going into, I believe it was turn 3, Almirola got him a little loose. Austin Hill saved the car. You could see his white gloves doing all he could in that windshield. And then once he corrected it, a very quick left turn and hooking Eric Almirola head on into the wall. It was a nasty impact. Both cars ended up being taken out. Everyone was very, very quick to react to that. Oh, that was an interesting moment there. And then we heard the radio immediately from Austin Hill saying, I did not mean to do that. That was not intentional. Tried to save the car. The discourse on social media says otherwise. Even the broadcast, Jamie McMurray, Parker Kligerman, very quick to say, I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt there. And then they asked Eric Almirola in the post-rec interview when he was released from the infield care center, what did you think? Clearly intentional, Almirola said. Now, it's hard to argue it. The S&T data at this point I don't think has been seen by people, so we're not going to completely say it was Austin Hill's fault, but everyone's leaning toward this is very much intentional. Now, this is Austin Hill who, at Martinsville, in front of the drivers at the drivers' meeting in the Xfinity Series this spring, said, I'm going to be a leader of this series. Lead by example. Him and Justin Allgaier, I believe, were two guys that spoke in front of the entire drivers' series. And then he goes out there and potentially does something like this intentionally. A guy that has already had a reputation for being a very blunt and aggressive driver. And to have something like this at Indianapolis, hitting or turning Eric Almirola head on into a spot where there is no safer barrier at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, the fact that there's no safer barrier around the entire track, or let me rephrase that, the entire track is not wrapped in safer barrier. I don't love that, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the actual incident still, because yes, we're going to hear Austin Hill on the radio say that he didn't mean to do anything, declined to talk to the media as well afterwards, but Richard Childress said, they didn't do anything when my grandson Austin Dillon got right reared by, I believe it was Austin Cindric at Coda. So I hope they don't do anything here. Pop, I don't know about this one, because Austin Hill, from the discourse it sounds like on social media right now, everyone is leaning towards guilty. And with that, if he is suspended next week at Iowa, Austin Hill would see all of his playoff points now and future revoked because of his suspension due to the new NASCAR rule that was implemented over the offseason. So if that is the case, Austin Hill would have a massive, massive dent to his championship hopes in 2025 if he was to be suspended for Iowa. Now, it wouldn't revoke his playoff eligibility. It would take away all of the points that he has stockpiled, and at that point, he's going in with absolutely nothing. So, could be something to note moving forward. Do you think that Austin Hill's move was intentional? And if so, gotta imagine he should be suspended for that, right? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section about that incident between Austin Hill and Eric Almirola. And I mentioned the incident before that led to Connor Zilich originally taking the lead and control of the race was when, on one of those final restarts, you had Kyle Larson and Justin Allgaier side by side. Kyle Larson running the Xfinity race. I know a lot of people have some polarizing thoughts about that in that Hendrick Motorsports 17 entry, doing the weekend double for the Xfinity and Cup race at Indy. But didn't have the car that everyone thought would be dominant today. But toward the end of that race, he came alive and was a contender for sure. And then Justin Allgaier, one of the fastest cars all day today, especially in stage 3, held off Larson, went on the outside, got around Larson, really fired off well on the outside, but Larson on one of these restarts there just got loose and forced Allgaier up into the wall. Allgaier ended up losing the car, had to go to the pit road and ended his day. Larson saved it a little bit there, ended up battling back for a 4th place finish. Allgaier was 36th, but you could just tell the frustration for Justin Allgaier, who wanted to, I really do think wanted to be the guy that got Junior Motorsports that 100th win. I believe he has over a quarter of their wins as far as their history. Just one of the great ambassadors of the Xfinity series, a great, great ambassador for the series. You could just see the frustration, I believe. And no ill will there. Of course, Kyle Larson just racing hard, puts people in bad positions where either you wreck, I wreck, we both wreck, or he's going to take the lead. Just another race where Kyle Larson has something go a little bit wrong in Indy, although, again, saved it for a top 5. Not shooting him down any way about that, but just really hate to see Justin Allgaier leave with a wrecked car and finishing 36th when he was arguably the best car today. But overall, I thought the racing, especially in Stage 3, was really good. You could see the urgency, especially with the rain around. Again, with running the super speedway package in Indianapolis, I don't love it, especially when you've got Indianapolis Raceway Park, IRP, right around the corner, and the Truck Series and ARCA. Pretty good racing on Friday overall there. Wouldn't mind seeing the Xfinity Series back there. It's just unfortunate that it happens to be in the backyard of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, because I think they would be really good there. But Xfinity Series on this track really does produce as good of racing as it can for the package that they're given. Now, if you were on the Toyota side today, pretty good day today. Taylor Gray, seems like we always say, close to getting that first win, right there with Connor Zilich toward the end before he got passed on that final restart. William Zilich also continuing this form where he is recovering a rough rookie season. But let's focus real quick on the Cup Series side, because qualifying before the Xfinity Series race today, Chase Briscoe making history, the first driver in the NASCAR Cup Series history to win the pole for the first 3 Crown Jewel races, as he was on the pole for the Daytona 500, the Coke 600, and will be leading the field to green tomorrow at the Brickyard 400 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as a part of 5 Toyotas locking out the first 5 positions in the qualifying stage for the NASCAR Cup Series tomorrow. So at least the qualifying trim for the Yoders tomorrow, very, very good, although one of those guys who will not be in the top 5 is Denny Hamlin, who was one of the final cars to go out for qualifying today in the Cup Series and crashed. He will be starting at the back with a backup car. So Denny Hamlin, of course, last week's race winner, has always said this is one of the few races he has not won. He is really desperately trying to win. It's going to be a longer climb than usual for the 11 team tomorrow. So let me know your thoughts down below about today's Xfinity race. Of course, Connor Zilich getting Dale Jr. and Junior Motorsports that 100th win. Austin Hill, oh, just another incident. Not a fan favorite, it seems, but the Xfinity Series does need a villain. I'll give him that. And then the Cup Series tomorrow from the Brickyard. By the way, SVG, 11th, rolling off on the grid tomorrow. His best qualifying effort on an oval, I believe, in the NASCAR Cup Series. And outrunning his Trackhouse teammates for sure in the qualifying realm. So something to note there as well moving forward. But stay tuned for more, folks. I'll be here for all the Brickyard coverage tomorrow post-race Sunday night. And I'll see you then. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.